Welcome back everybody to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Sorry, we've got going a little bit late here on the commentary. That's a good qualifying session there from Deck Paint, taking pole position by a resounding margin there, 2.8 seconds clear of his, hold on, there's a bit of an echo going on here. Let's get rid of that now.
Yeah, he comes to work it now.
Yeah. Alright, so that's it. So, yeah, Deck Paint taking pole by 3 seconds there, ahead of Aries Umbra. Emo Guy and Yomko lining up on the second row. We got Hovno, Ardel Pata, Mistech. Then we got Evan, Gypsy George, TTV, and Quiet Man running up the top 10. And Smoky Devil in 11th place. We're almost about to get going here for Tier 2 race here for round 4 of Motive Racing's Clio Cup. Let's continue and get this race underway. It's going to be a half an hour race with no mandatory pit stop. It's just a straight sprint to the line. It's a long time since I've used the PlayStation streaming function, but it's just about getting back to grips with it once again. Here we go. Oh. And we're about to go lights out here for Tier 2 here this evening for round 4 of Motor Racing's Clio Cup. It looks like we've got Deck Paint here along the left hand side. Let's here we're hoping for the perfect start here off the line. And we are underway. Looks like a nice start there from Deck Paint. Aries Umbra also nicely off the line. Looks like Emo Guy having a look to the inside. And we've got Hovno looking up the inside into P4 already. Yomko pushed out there, coming into Standard. It looks like Deck Paint gets a nice run there, coming through there. Mistech trying around the outside there of Evan. Evan putting out the inside though. We got TTV going side by side here with Mistech coming up the hill and up towards the top of the hill. We've got TTV here coming up into P7, getting up ahead of Mistech. Gypsy George here in P9. Smoky Devil and Quiet Man at the back of the field. Coming through Casino Square. Deck Paint already with a comfortable lead. Looks like Emo Guy coming under pressure here from Aries Umbra as they come up past the casino and now up down towards what is the middle sector of the lap. This is where Rosberg did some disgusting blatant cheating a few years ago, and we come up towards the Lowe's hairpin. And a little bit of a lock up from all of these guys as they try and get these brakes up to temperature as much as they can. But these guys absolutely on the limit, and you can see there that it looked like, was that Gypsy George there having a look up the inside of the Lowe's hairpin? Maybe he thought about a move but had to back out of that one in the end. Thought better of it. But coming through the tunnel, Deck Paint still pulling away here, and he's had an unbelievable start to this race. Already leading by 2 seconds, and we're not even halfway round the first lap yet. Emo Guy is still trying to hold off Aries Umbro. These guys, barely anything separating them coming into the Nouvelle Chicane. And as these guys all taking it very tidily. These guys have been practicing all week for this one. They're well up for this. They know where they can push and what limits they can go for. And coming into the back now, through past the harbour. And once again, Emo Guy just doing a good job here of holding him up. But he's almost got a little bit offline there coming through the swimming pool chicane. And now he's going to have to watch out. But obviously the slowdown penalties at Monaco uncompromising. So you really need to be aware. For the time being, it's as you were. Emo Guy doing a good job here of holding off the challenge of Aries Umbro, and Yomko is just watching these guys in the background. So just watching this unfold and hoping to pounce when it matters. TTV has got round Evan up into P5. Evan's dropping back to P6. It looks like we've got Hovno in 7th place. Hovno's a newbie to the Motive Racing League this evening. Good to have him with us on the track. And he's doing a good job here in P7 currently in his debut race. Mistech has dropped back off these guys. He's now falling back into the clutches of Gypsy George and Quiet Man and Smoky Devil at the back of the field. Quiet Man's bringing it into the pits. So don't know what's going on there. There's no mandatory stop in this race, but he has brought it in. So maybe a problem with the car or the tyres not really to his liking. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But the battle for P2 is really, really heating up. Still Emo Guy with it, but Aries Umbro well and truly wants it. on the brakes into Lowe's hairpin. A massive lock up there from Aries Umbro, and it looks like he's got past him. So Emo guy there getting a little bit out of shape on the exit there, coming out the corner. It looks like Aries has got the position. A little bit of a tap there as they came through the next series of corners, but for the time being it's as you were, and with Aries Umbro back up into P2, sorry. So good stuff there from Aries Umbro, opportunistic overtaking manoeuvre, and now Emo guy is going to fall back into the clutches here of Yomko as they come out of the tunnel and up towards the chicane. He has a little look to the inside, but thinks better of that one. And we see Aries Umbro cutting the chicane massively there. He will have to slow down and back right off because he's got these guys charging behind him. Two angry Clios in his rear view mirrors, and you can see here Yomko looking for the inside of Tabak, and he might have the right inside line, but he has to end up backing out of that one to avoid contact there. Very cautious on the acceleration as they came out of Tabak and up towards the swimming pool now, and you can see there that Aries Umbro cuts the chicane on the inside, and that is going to allow Emo guy cutting the chicane, and that's going to allow Yomko back up into our final podium spot. Fantastic racing between these guys, second, third and fourth. Aries Umbro, and Emo guy, and currently these guys now settling down a little bit. Still Yomko and Emo guy going side by side though. As they come down the pit straight, it looks like Emo guy's got the outside and is driving clean round him there. Great stuff there, and manages to keep it cool under the brakes. And Emo guy's back up into P3 again. So Yomko not able to shake him off. Still fighting it out as they come up towards the top of the hill. In the background, let's have a look and see what's going on with Miztec and Gypsy George and Hovno have had a collision coming through Sandavot. And it looks like Gypsy George now pulling up onto the back here of Miztec. And they're going to go side by side maybe? No, in the end, Gypsy George thinking better of that one. Wily old head backing out of that when he needed to, and not going to go for that move in a million years. But you can see here still right up his bumper and hoping to make a move. Coming through Casino Square, you can see him ducking right and left but not making a move for the time being. Still, as he were, Gypsy George though right on the back of Miztec here. In the meantime, Emo guy is currently half a second ahead of Yomko, so this is still the battle for P3, which is raging on. And while these guys battered it out, it has allowed Aries Umbra to pull away a little bit. He's now sat in a comfortable P2, 8.8 seconds off of our dominant race leader Deck Paint. But Aries Umbra here doing a solid job of also running in P2, and you've got Emo guy who seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap on Yomko this time around. So we've got Miztec seems to have shaken off the challenge here of George as they come out of the chicane, and now George is going to have to look in his mirrors because he's got Hovno right up his chuff here as they come up towards to the back. And you can see there's less than a second between those guys as we see Hovno just tagging the wall a little bit there on the right hand side. You don't want to do that ideally, that does cost you a lot of time, and you can see that he's still right on the back here of Gypsy George. Has to get a little bit offline there to try and make the corner and avoid getting a slowdown penalty, but it is still as you were here in this little battle for P8, and George doing a fantastic job here of holding his nerve and holding his line and not being phased by Hovno behind him. In the meantime though, it looks like Aries Umbra is doing a decent job of actually keeping the gap to Deck Paint. I know the split times say a different story, what with Deck Paint going 3 seconds faster last time around, but I believe that gap has been between 8 and 9 seconds for a little while. So Aries Umbra maybe had a poor start to the previous lap, which maybe exaggerates the timing slightly. So you can see here he's kept the gap at 8.5, 8.6 for pretty consistently the last lap or so, which means that by the time these guys come around to complete lap 4, we will see a much more representative split time. I believe it will be pretty much nip and tuck between these guys as Deck Paint, our race leader, comes into the Nouvelle Chicane and absolutely nails it. If you wanted a textbook example of how to take the chicane here at Monaco, that is how you do it. And here comes Aries Umbra. Let's see how he takes this one. It's just not even skimming the wall on the inside, just staying away from those walls as much as he can. Good stuff there from him. We've got Emo guy locking up there as he came under the braking, and Yomko doing likewise, just about getting it slowed down in time. TTV coming up towards the chicane. Let's see how he's taking this one. He's a little bit of a lock up there on the right hand side and avoiding the wall on the inside. Evan likewise just very tidy through there. Miztec is now coming under a lot of pressure here from Hovno, and he cuts the chicane on the inside, and now he's going to have Hovno right up his chuff as they come on the exit. And you can see here Gypsy George just waiting in the wings, waiting to pounce. I'm sure that he will be very excited to get involved in this action here. This is for P7 here in the Tier 2 race here for Motive Racing's Clio Cup here at Monaco, the Principality. And you can see here that there's absolutely nothing between these three guys. As we see now, Hovno is getting a great run there, coming up towards Raskas. And oh, it's a collision! There's a collision. He just tags him in the back there, and George, unfortunately, nowhere to go. And that is not what we want to see. It looks like, oh my goodness me, Mistech just flew across the track there. Hopefully these guys can get it sorted out, because that is not what we want to see here. In fact, he does. Very sportsmanlike their behaviour from him. He moves over and lets Hovno take the position back, and George is still behind these guys, so not able to capitalise on that opportunity where these guys came together. In the meantime, race leader Deck Paint pulled away by 2 seconds last time around. He's now still in the 146s. Aries Umbra doing a decent times in the 148s, but not able to go with this young man here from, I don't know, Picklington, is it, Deck Paint? Anyway. Yorkshire. Oh, as we see him tag the wall on the inside on the exit of the Newville chicane, and that's going to cost him plenty of times. I'm sorry about that, Deck Paint. I won't talk to you again. But this is a bit of a novel concept here at Motive Racing. Usually I'm in a commentary box on Discord with my partner Sebastian, but unfortunately today he wasn't able to join us, so I'm literally commentating in the public lobby. These guys can hear me as the race is going on, and I'm sure it's proving to be a major distraction. In the meantime though, coming through to back, we've got Emo Guy and Yomko going side by side. It looks like Yomko in the end has to back out of that one. He's still right up his chuff though as they come through the swimming pool, and he's really hassling him now. So that wasn't the swimming pool, this is a swimming pool. But it looks like Yomko now is trying to distract him in the mirrors, moves left and right and tries to do a little dance towards the inside, but Ema Guy is still holding firm and not being phased or being tempted into trying to defend the position as we come out through Anthony Noakes now onto the pit straight, and Yomko's going to try and get a lovely run here as they come down the straight. It looks like he's got a straight line speed advantage, maybe running a lower downforce setup here is Yomko as they come over the line to complete lap 5, and this is fantastic racing between spots. We see Yomko going for the dive on the inside, and he's cut the Sandavot on the inside, and he's going to have to back out of that one, but Emo Guy holding on to the position just about. Yomko in the end had to get out of that because he knew he would get a penalty if he stayed where he was. That was good racing between those guys, hard but fair, and Emo Guy closing the door when it mattered and maintaining the position here coming up towards Casino Square. Getting a little bit wide there though, and offline certainly. But here is the battle, ladies and gentlemen, for P5. Evan still holding it, but TTV is closing that gap. In fact, last time around, Evan was actually 1.7 seconds faster, so that's killed my, that's count my style a bit. But here we go, looks like Evan getting a little bit out of shape and going into the wall, just kissing the wall on the left-hand side slightly, and now TTV is putting right up onto him. Let's keep an eye on the penalties and see what these guys have got. 9 of them, of course, got penalties. They're keeping it very clean and tidy and within the track limits, which is good to see. And you can see there, Evan getting a little bit wide there on the exit at Lowe's Hairpin, and that is going to allow TTV to pull right up in as they come through Portier now. And you can see there, Evan tagging the wall, but also TTV doing likewise. These guys are unable to keep it out of the wall. It's definitely compromises you coming through the tunnel because you get the least possible traction out of that corner. And now that it will affect their straight line speed come towards the end of the coming towards the end of the tunnel. But as you can see here, Evan still doing a good job of holding position, and it looks like TTV's overshot the chicane, and he's going to have to slow down a little bit. He will get a slow down penalty from the race director for that. Going to have to get way out of it there. But it's for the time being, it looks like it's still as you were, Evan. They're doing a good job there of not being phased by TTV's attack and keeping his position. In the meantime, it looks like Yomko's got around Emo, but Emo's at the moment, and he's going to the wall. And it looks like, Yomko's got into the wall, and now Emo's back past him. But as they come out of Anthony Noakes, and is he going to go up the inside of Sandavot, or can Emo go fight back here? Emo goes very late on the brakes, but Yomko a little bit later, and now he goes into the wall. Oh, disaster for Yomko, and Emo Guy, in the end, inherits the position once again. An incredible race in between these guys. It's been non-stop action. And then we've got Evan here still trying to hold on for P5 ahead of TTV. Nothing can separate these guys here as they come up the hill. And it's been unbelievable racing from Emo Guy, Yomko, Evan and TTV. All of these 4 guys have been battling out, not with each other, but Emo Guy and Yomko have been battling it out. Evan and TTV have been putting on a hell of a show here in this race. Guys, if you like what you see and you want to get involved in Motive Racing, all you need to do is go to Discord. Discord link is all over the YouTube channel, and it's just to click on that and it will take you to our championships. New season 2 sign-ups are now out and you can get involved. The season will be starting on the 4th of May. Current season sign-ups, you can get involved by going to our Discord and choosing the role of the driving of the class that you want to drive in. Oh, as we see there, you can see Evan just getting a little bit loose, and TTV running straight into him out of Portier, and now he's going to have to go again, TTV. But it looks like no, hold on, Evans dropped back, so Evans very sportingly handed over the position there to TTV. But in the meantime, he's shot himself in the foot because he's now got that Hovne past. So Hovne's now putting onto the back here of TTV coming through the chicane. So Evan there, victim of his own sportsmanship there, ended up accidentally letting Hovne through as well. I need to learn his name because he's new to this league. His name is Hovno, so yeah, pretty close. But here we go. So TTV is still leading this pack of 3 cars as they come into the swimming pool chicane. You've got Hovno and Evan very, very close behind him now. But it looks like TTV got a lovely run there coming through the swimming pool and has pulled out a little bit of a gap to these guys. Into Raskas now, and Evan gets very, very wide there. And sorry, Hovno gets very, very wide there, and now it's allowed Evan to pull right onto him as they come through. Anthony Nogues now, but you can see there still line astern. 3 of these guys fighting it out for 5th place here. Brilliant stuff between these guys, and in the meantime, the battle for P3 still rages on, and Yomko's got into the wall coming through Casino Square, and that's going to allow Emo go to can. Yomko look for a move. No, he can't. He's not close enough. But lock up from both of these guys as they strive to get the car slowed down. You can see, oh, a little bit of contact again. Oh, no. And it looks like, in the end, Yomko being pushed into the wall there. Emo guy very sportingly allowing him to continue and in the position that he was. But that was a little bit of argy-bargy, and ultimately now Emo guy's got a job to do because he's now a second or 2 behind Yomko. So that is that battle done with for the time being. What is going on with Evan? Looks like TTV's had a moment somewhere on the lap, and now Hovno has actually pulled out a bit of a gap here to these guys. Evan now 2 seconds adrift of Hovno. He's really got the hammer down as Hovno in the last couple of laps, and now TTV is struggling to keep pace with these guys. In the meantime, looks like Gypsy George and Mistech are bumper to bumper here coming through the tunnel, and we can see here Mistech closing that gap. Last time around, in fact, he was just 2 tenths faster than George, so not much at all in pace between these 2 guys, but it's enough for Gypsy George to be certainly worried as he sees that orange Clio getting larger and larger and larger in his mirrors. Through to back now, and really nothing at all to separate these guys in terms of timings, but as you can see there, Mistech getting very loose there on the exit of Tabac, putting it in the wall slightly, but he gets a better run there through swimming pool than George did, and is still closing right onto the back of him. Nothing to separate these boys here as they come through. Raskas now, this is lap 9, we're halfway through this sprint race here for Tier 2. Be sure to stay with us for Tier 1, which is coming up straight after this one. It'll be live at 8 PM BST, that's British summertime. For those of you who live under a rock, we are now in British summertime here in Great Britain. This is not GMT, so it's basically during the summer we go to BST for 6 or 7 months, and so we are now BST. So just take that into account if you're checking the clocks and you want to know what time to tune in. But here we go. It looks like up the hill and towards Casino Square now. It's currently George doing a great job here of keeping Mistech behind him. He's been hassling him for the last lap. In fact, last time around, Mistech a second faster than George. So now he's going to have to watch out. He's going to be wary of this Clio behind him as he sees him getting absolutely bigger and bigger and bigger in his mirrors every single corner. And oh no, what's happened? Oh my goodness me, TTV's got into the wall at the exit of the Lowe's hairpin, and now these 2 are going to be putting right onto the back of him as they come up through to under the hotel. And oh my goodness, the TTV is all over the place. It's all gone wrong for TTV Alienzo here as you come through under the tunnel now, and Evan and Gypsy George and Mistech are going to be closing that gap ever more. But into the Nouvelle chicane. Let's hope the TTV can keep his nerve. He must be feeling the pressure now, having had a torrid last couple of laps. Who's this? Is that somebody into the wall? I'm sure I saw somebody in the wall. Anyway, yeah, hold on. Is that car? It's Quiet Man. Yes, it's Quiet Man. I knew I saw someone in the wall. That's Quiet Man, and we got some debris. We got a yellow flag coming out of the hairpin. Oh, sorry, out of the chicane there. As Quiet Man gets very, very loose. 2 laps down there, but good to see him getting it going again, and he's got it facing in the right direction. But how's that derailed TTV? These guys as they come over the pit straight now to complete lap 9 of this race. Been a turbulent last couple of laps here for TTV. It's all gone wrong. He made a few mistakes and dropped back into the clutches of George and Mistech, but it looks like he's managed to fight back here in the last half a lap or so, and pulled out this gap now to George as we see them coming up towards Casino Square. What is happening with Evan? Looks like he is running a couple of seconds behind Hobno and keeping that gap to him for the time being. So Evan could fight back and potentially give Hobno a bit of a headache in the latter stages of this race if he can keep where he is and keep putting pressure on. But one man who we haven't really spoken about today, and for all the right reasons, is Deck Paint. He is currently coming through Sandoval and up towards the top of the hill, and he has got a lead of 19 seconds over everybody else. And when you consider Aries Umbro is 30 seconds ahead of third place, this is an absolutely colossal performance here from our race leader from Yorkshire. He's a young man, I believe he's 16 or 17 years old, very young, but plenty of talent on his shoulders as we see him. Looking up there a little bit, coming through Rosberg Corner. I don't know the actual name of the corner, so I'm calling it Rosberg Corner. But he's really put in a hell of a shift here in this race, and honestly, hats off to him for responding to a few critics in the build-up. When he joined Motive Racing, he had a reputation which preceded him a little bit, but he's well and truly shown that reputation is very unwarranted here, and proven that he has plenty of pace and talent here on the track in Project Cars 2. And there's a lap car there just moving over to the side and allowing Deck Paint to continue on his way. I think that's Smoky Devil there. It must be Smoky Devil looking at the timing board. And now that's good. Obviously good from Smoky Devil there to move over and allow the leader to come through. That's what we want to see here at Motive. And in the meantime, we're looking at the battle here for P3. It looks like Yomko has pulled out a bit of a gap here to Emo Guy actually as they come past Casino Square. In fact 2 seconds now separating these two. So he's definitely got the hammer down here, has Yomko, and put some breathing space. But the battle for P5 and 6 still looking pretty similar to how it was. Tovno has got it, Evan wants it, 2 seconds separating these boys at the moment. TTV still running in P7, 3 seconds up the road from George. George is now falling back off of the youngster, and we got also George pulling away from Miztec as well. So now these guys seem to be finding a groove and maybe settling down a bit, and not so much battling going on. We're pretty strung out here in this race here for Tier 2 for round 4 of Motive's Clio Cup. Guys, if you're interested in joining Motive Racing and you like what you see on our YouTube channel, be sure to join us on Discord and get involved. Join our leagues. Our championship sign up for Season 2 is already up, starting on May the 4th. And if you want to join in our current season, Season 1, then be sure to go to our Discord and choose the role on our Discord for the classes that you want to drive in, and you can be eligible to join as a reserve driver. As we see, Gypsy George has had an absolute disaster here. What's happened? He seems to have slowed right down coming through the chicane, and now he's allowed Miztec to come through. So Gypsy George sounds like he's had an engine failure. Oh my goodness me, that is a disaster here. He seems to have parked up by the side of the road with 10 minutes left to go in the session. He didn't open his radiator, and the track temperature at 132 degrees. It's no wonder that thing has blown up. It must have been absolutely piping. It must have been boiling. It must have been on the verge, and it's gone. And Gypsy George is out of the race. Very unfortunate. Gypsy George there saying on the team radio he could have taken that one to the scrapyard. Well, I would say that that's going to be a very expensive Clio here in the Monaco scrapyard. But for the time being, it looks like that's allowed Miztec to move up into P7. Oh, that is gutting for Gypsy George there. And you never want to see somebody retire from the race prematurely. Yeah, just incredibly unfortunate there. He was running in some good points paying position up until that point, but he will not pick up any points for retirement here in this session, which is absolutely gutting for him. But in the meantime, we're still looking at the battle here for P5. Evan is now still sat about a couple of seconds here in front of TTV as they come up towards the tunnel now, and TTV closing that gap once again. But I'm just trying to work out whether or not I'm sure that have they swapped over positions? No, I'm pretty sure that Evan was in front before, but TTV's closed that gap. In fact, last time around, TTV 3 seconds faster than Evan. So it just goes to show how well he's really got the hammer down here. Falguest writes in the comments a very nice compliment. The only G says, go on lads. Bowie says, don't forget to try and save the replay, Andy. Well, I don't think it will let me, Bowie. I don't think I've got enough storage, so it's very unlikely that that's going to work out. But I'll try anyway. No Limit Racer says can't concentrate with deck paint. Well, maybe that's because he's just way too fast here in this race. Matthew, which is otherwise known as deck paint, says still can't hear. Okay, no, that's just earlier on. So here we go. And obviously JR Sim Racing saying camera angles tonight are sexy. Well, I do try my best, but I can't always get it right. But when I do, it's always good. And we can see here that we've got some traffic here coming through Anthony Nogues. It looks like Mistex gets well out of the way there, which is good to see. Deck paint is allowed to carry on his way as he was, so that's good to see. But the battle here for P5 is still raging on. You can see Evan has got it, but TTV really closing that gap now, coming through the Casino Square, and just less than a second of a gap between these two guys. And in fact, last time around, TTV 0.8 of a second faster, so still getting the hammer down and still really flooring it. And a bit of a knock. We're just hearing a team radio. We've got some debris coming through. Anthony Nogues just coming through the final corner. We've got some debris. So and deck paint there on the team radio, begging the back markers to let him through. He's setting fastest lap times here in this one. He doesn't want anyone to cramp his style. The race leader wants to do some purple times and get the extra point. And he's getting very vocal here over the team radio. Let's have a look and see what's happening with it. It looks like he has managed to finally clear the back marker there. That may be, is that Hovno? Anyway, it looks like he's finally allowed the race leader to continue on his way, but that took plenty of time there. But I'm sure that he'll get the hang of it. Hovno obviously making his debut here in Motive Racing, and it's his first ever appearance in our Clio Cup, so I'm sure he will get to grips with it as he continues on. And obviously, as a beginner, you know, you've got to learn the ropes somehow. You know, you can't be fantastic straight away. So, in the meantime, TTV still closing this gap to Evan, but Evan doing a good job, and actually it looks like he may have responded this time around. We'll keep an eye on the split times as they exit the final corner now. 5 minutes left to go in the Tier 2 race for round 4 of Motive Racing's Clio Cup. It's not round 4 as far as the Clios are concerned, but it is round 4 altogether in the season, so we're just going to refer to this whole event as round 4, and then we can figure it out from there. But it looks like, in fact, last time around, Evan much faster than TTV, so TTV's tyres seem to be going off now. The track temperature, as we said earlier, 132 degrees Fahrenheit. That's around 50 degrees Celsius. So absolutely, we're over halfway to boiling here on the track temperature. So you could probably fry an egg on this surface, and it would probably be pretty medium rare, I would say. But we got a TTV there, a bit of a lock up, and keeping it going for the time being. But he's, as I say, you know, those tyres are gone. In the meantime, we've got just hearing a bit of feedback there on my choice of words for the eggs that are being fried on the track surface. There aren't actually eggs being fried on the track surface, but if there were, they certainly wouldn't be medium rare. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I was talking about. That's just rambling. When you commentate for a long period of time, you ramble. Anyway. Anyway, so it looks like we got Evan, who's now got TTV closing back onto him again. The gap was around 2 seconds at the beginning of this lap. It's now come down just a little bit here. TTV now within 1.8 seconds as they come through the swimming pool section, and maybe trying to get those tyres back into the groove once again. The tyre pressures, we can't actually see what they are. Let's see if we can get them up here on the... I don't know if you can. No, I don't think you can. Oh, no, you can. No, you can't. So... here we come over the line to complete lap 14 of this race. We have got approximately, I reckon, 3, maybe 2 laps left to go. In fact, no, it should be, yeah, these guys have got 3 laps left to go, but the race leader Deck Paint, I think, has got 2. So, I don't know if they're a lap down. Yeah, no, they're not a lap down, but they're pretty close to being a lap down. So, Deck Paint coming up to Sandevot. He's got 2 laps to try and lap these guys if he can, but he might be a little bit too far back. He's got about 10 seconds up the road to make up, so he'd be having to go 5 seconds a lap faster than these back markers, Evan and TTV, if he wants to put a lap on them and well and truly embarrass them here in this race. Having said that, though, it's not an embarrassing performance by any means from these guys in P5 and 6. They've put on a fantastic show in this race. Evan and TTV have been going at it non-stop in this one as they come into Lowe's hairpin now, and you can see that once again TTV just closing onto the back of him, but Evan is always, rest assured, you can expect him to have a cool head and not get too phased by the moment and the pressure as they come through the tunnel now. And yeah, as you can see there, Evan doing an excellent job of just keeping the car going in the straight line and in the right direction. And TTV has unfortunately made too many mistakes to really make an impression here on Evan. You saw the last time around on lap 15, the lap times were almost identical. In fact, they were near enough. 200ths of a second separated them, as we see TTV getting very out of shape. And Evan hits the wall there on the right hand side on the exit to back. But TTV does exactly the same thing. So I think, barring any major catastrophes for Evan in this final lap and a half, he should be able to pick up P5 here in this Tier 2 race for round 4 at Motive Racing's Clio Cup here at Monaco. Where is our race leader, Deckblade? He's just coming into Raskas. So I believe he's got one lap after this one left to go. It should be 17 laps altogether in this race, and unless something goes catastrophically wrong on this final lap, he should pretty much be home and hosed. And I'm sure that he'll be looking forward to drinking the champagne, although we won't be able to spray it on the podium due to I think you don't, no, do you spray champagne? You do, don't you? No, you can't spray it on the podium because of Prince you can't get the champagne on Prince Albert, can you?
Yeah, in Monaco, yeah, you can't, no.
No, you can't. You've got to drink it afterwards.
Water in Monaco.
Sparkling water. Ah, okay, so we can pop the champagne on the yachts in the harbour afterwards, but he can't do so on the podium. So he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to celebrate in full swing after this race. As we see, there's some traffic here. TTV moves over and allows him to go through, but Deck Paint has driven faultlessly here in this Tier 2 race this evening for round 4, and he's just picking off some final back markers here. Looks like he's Evans next up. Evan, I'm sure, will be wanting to stay on the lead lap and finish this race and complete the full 17 lap distance. But having said that, it'd be no mean feat just to stay where he is, and even if he does get lapped, it's still a good performance. And the way he held off TTV in the last few laps was fully admirable. Got to take your hat off to him. As we see, we've got a battle here. Looks like Hovno is closing onto the back of Miztec once again, but we're going to stay with our race leader, Deck Paint. 32 seconds is the lead here out front as he comes up through to back, staying off the wall on the right hand side. Very tidy through the harbour section and keeping it just about within the walls, skimming the walls even, but very tidy there through the swimming pool, and up now towards Raskas for the final time. Taking it very, very comfortably here. Deck Paint too, as one of our youngsters here at Motive Racing, and known for racing a little bit aggressively at times, but he's got plenty of pace and plenty of talent. Deck Paint takes the victory for the Tier 2 race here, round 4 at Monaco in the Clio Cup. Brilliant driving from him. Aries Umbro is going to bring it home in what would have been an unbelievably credible race. He's 30 seconds off our race leader, but he in turn is 35 seconds clear of Yomko. So say, for example, Deck Paint hadn't been racing, it would have looked like a resounding victory for Aries Umbro. So whichever way you look at it, it's a good performance here from Aries Umbro, and some very, very nice points in his championship campaign. He'll be hoping to get promotion to Tier 1 at the end of this season as he comes over the line to complete the race. Good stuff there from him. We've got Yomko, who seems to have pulled out the gap to Emo in the later laps of this race, and he's just coming through to back now. A little bit of a lock up as he came through, but he's keeping it more or less within the white lines and in the track limits here. Yomko into the swimming pool, and had a great battle with Emo Guy for most of this race. We had a few other guys involved in that battle for a little while, but it looked like in the end these guys had too much pace for them as he comes through. Anthony Noakes now for the final time, and up over the line. Yomko is going to complete the podium for the Tier 2 here at Monaco. Emo Guys comes out at the last corner now. P4 for him. Good job, good driving from him. Evan, I believe, is the last person on the lead lap, unless Deck Paint, I think Deck Paint may have actually got past him just before the line. So Evan there, lap down, as to Miztec, TTV, Hovno, Smoky Devil and his Quiet Man. So Deck Paint, our race winner, lapping every driver up to P5. What a performance, and we're looking forward to potentially seeing him in the big boy league for next season, Tier 1 in the Clios. Not going to speak too soon just yet, but if he keeps up the type of form that he's been showing, then he will be a well and truly a contender for this championship in Tier 2. Aries Umbro, Yomko complete the podium. Thank you to everyone for joining us on the YouTube channel. Here's a decision. I don't know whether to keep the stream going. Anyway, Emo Guy, Evan, Mistech TTV, Hovno, Smoky Devil, Quiet Man, George, thank you guys very much for joining us here this evening. We will see you very, very shortly for the Tier 1 race for the Clios. I'm going to keep the stream going. I'm just going to turn my audio off, I think. That's the best thing. So, join us in about 15 minutes time for the Tier 1 Clios at the same track, same venue, same everything. Big shout out to all the guys for joining us on track this evening. Thank you boys very much for coming and for watching and for racing. We'll see you guys very shortly.
Race, boys, great race.
Yeah, you would say absolutely dominant.
Alright, hold up. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to the Motive Racing YouTube channel, everybody. We are here for the Tier 1 race for round 4 at Monaco. And this is set to be an absolutely fantastic spectacle here at the Principality, where there's currently, in real life, it's being absolutely plagued by coronavirus, just like the rest of the world. But in this Project Cars 2 game, it seems pretty alright to me. JR Lock and Load currently showing the way at the top of the pile here in qualifying with a 1:44.8. He's currently 0.04 of a second ahead of Bowie at the top of the leaderboard. And then in third place we've got the only G. Now word on the street, oh my goodness me, word has it on the street that the only G is capable of doing a 1:43 around Monaco, which is an absolutely unbelievable time. But currently unable to replicate that in this session so far. Here he comes up towards Lowe's hairpin, so let's hope he can really get the hammer down and try and get as close to that pit ceiling as he can. It looks like we've got a couple of guys here coming through the Lowe's hairpin behind him as well. Let's see what guys are saying in the comments. We've got George Williams says, "Go Peanut." He's well behind his man ALTEL here, but ALTEL currently sat P11 in this qualifying session, so not really gone to plan so far, but let's hope he can really get it nailed down and hope to get himself up into the top 10. Currently sat 11th, as I said. Ethanol Gamer says, "Where's Andy?" Andy's right here, boys, right here. George Roberts Williams says, "Comms by himself tonight." Yes, it is indeed. It's all good fun though. Evil Scotsman says, "Hope the drivers here have better luck than I did." That's Emo Guy 97 in the comments there. He was actually racing with us in the Tier 2 race just a few moments ago, and he ended up in, I think, 4th. Let me know in the comments, Evil Scotsman. Is it 3rd or 4th? Anyway, let us know. Ethanol Gamer says, "Yay!" Good stuff there. Glad to see he's happy. As we see the only G coming over the line to complete his lap time, but it's not an improvement this time around. We've got just under a minute left to go in this qualifying session for round 4 of Motive Racing's Clio Cup. We can see in the background there somebody's coming through Sandoval, and they've absolutely binned it. Oh, disastrous. Didn't catch to see who that was, but somebody's really lost the car as they came through Sandoval, and that looks like that is that lap over and done with. Bowie is going to come over the line now. Let's see if he can put it on pole position. Currently it's at P2. No, he can't. He's going to get one more go at it to see if he can put the car on pole position for this round 4. We see Honey Badger here coming over the line now to complete his lap time. Can he get it up there? Currently sat P4, and it's not an improvement, but he's got enough time to get around and try and do another lap time. Motoring Morgan has bailed out. He's crashed at Rosberg corner. Oh no, it's not. It's Sandoval. So it looks like he's lost it, and he's got it going once again, but now he's that's going to be that lap over and done with. Motoring Morgan is not going to be higher than 5th place here on the grid for this race. What is going on with the other guys? Ollie Mars coming into Lowe's hairpin. Where's Grandad Steve? Grandad Steve's still out there on the lap time. He's coming up towards the line now. Let's see if Grandad Steve can put himself up there in amongst it. Here he comes over the line. He's going to get the benefit of the slipstream here as he comes over the line, and it's not an improvement. He bails out of that one. RDJ's pitted from 9th. Falguest likewise. ALTEL currently sat P11. Let's see if George Roberts Williams can get his wish. He can't. ALTEL remains P11 in this session. We've had somebody drop out of the session at the last second there. JR still out there on a lap time, as is Bowie. The only G is coming up towards Rascast now. So P12 has apparently been disqualified from qualifying. Hopefully they'll be able to get in the race. Here comes the only G. We've seen some absolutely unbelievable lap times in practice from this man. He's currently not done it so far in this session. 2/10 off pole. Currently P3 in this session. The only G comes over the line, and it's 2nd place. 0.02 of a second shy of our pole sitter, JR. Bowie's coming into Rascast now. Can he do anything about this? Currently sat 0.04 of a second off of pole position, and he absolutely throws it through Anthony Nogues, and now he's going to be able to do a slipstream here. Coming out onto the pit straight. He's got a lovely slipstream effect. I think that's Ollie in front of him. It must be. That's Ollie's livery. And Bowie does it! Bowie takes pole in the dying embers of the session. It looks like he's done it. 0.6 of a second is his gap there to JR. So he really pulled it out. Must have nailed it on the last second there. Bowie's going to be starting on pole position here for round 4 at Monaco. JR lines up alongside him on the front row. Then we've got the only G and Honey Badger behind these guys. Motoring Morgan and Ollie Mara on the 3rd row. D Crocs and Grandad Steve, Roddy J and Falguest complete the top 10. ALTEL, Smithy, Nathan Rutter, newbie to the Clio Cup here, at Motive. We've got H2 Malik lining up alongside him and DJ Phil at the back of the field. We're about to get going here for this race. Guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that sub, like and bell button on YouTube. And I would normally say follow us on Twitch, but we're not actually live on Twitch at the moment. So this is, no, they can't hear you. That's fine, they can't hear you. So we're about to get going here for the race. Let's hope these guys can keep it clean coming into Sandoval.
Yep. Yeah,
I did in the front.
I can do those times without slipstream. I don't know what happened.
He got my slipstream big time.
I really don't know what happened. 14. I'm gonna put 20. That's it.
Foul. I don't know if the setup's any better. Didn't sing you over.
Nah, that's all right.
I'll just drop
It's
five.
about what, 9 laps into the race?
Yeah.
9 laps.
I'll work it out. If you, is it,
Yeah, it's 9 laps, I worked it out.
Yeah, I worked on about 9 laps. So
There was 14 laps to finish.
I've gone 13.
good luck, lads.
Good luck.
Bowie, you got
You're
that time
you're
to
welcome for my
slipstream, so
slipstream
I messed
split.
up my quality so bad. I messed it up so bad. I was doing
Ollie,
two
give me
tenths, 4
space,
tenths.
yeah?
It was like 3 times faster up into sector 2, and then on the finish straight
Yeah,
out.
yeah, you're on the inside anyway, so you've got priority.
I screwed up.
Smith, is that your brother by any chance?
Yeah, when we race, please.
Now I'm just going back and get fight each other.
Yeah,
Anyway.
40 seconds,
Good luck,
guys.
guys.
Good luck.
Right.
We are moments away from lights out here for the sprint race for Tier 1 of Motive Racing's Clio Cup here at the Principality of Monaco. Bowie lining up on the front row with JR lock and load alongside him. The only G, Honey Badger, very close quarters. This is going to be a mad rush up towards Sandoval. Let's hope these guys can go side by side and keep it clean here in the in turn 1. A flash of the lights there on the left hand side from Bowie, letting these guys know that he's not going to be letting anyone through coming into turn 1. Here we go, we're about to go racing and we're underway, and it looks like a good start there from Bowie from pole position. JR very nice as well, trying to get alongside him. The only G pulling up alongside JR as they come up towards turn 1. Looks like the only G's going to have the inside line. He's going to give Bowie a little bit of a bump there as they come through Sandoval, but it's as you were for the time being. JR holding second place on the left hand side. Looks like we got, looks like he's trying to get past Grandad Steers. They come up towards Casino Square. Okay, side by side a few guys there looking to try and get a look in. H2 Malik had a little look up the inside of Falguest, but not quite close enough this time around. Looks like Ollie Mars up into P3 and somebody's got into the wall. It looks like that might be the only G. The only G's down to last place on the first lap. Disaster there for the only G. We've seen such promise in practice for this guy, but he's unfortunately not gone to plan so far in this one. Bowie leading the race here on the first lap. 4/10 of a second is his gap here to JR as they come through Portier. Looks like JR is really hassling the back of him coming in under the tunnel now. You can see nothing at all separating these boys. He's right up his chuff here as they come through, and it looks like Ollie Mars coming under pressure now from Honey Badger as they exit the tunnel. The sunlight hits you right in the face as they come out of there, and you can see there that Honey Badger is having a look there, but not able to make an impression here, coming Rutter right very close in quarters as well. Bowie though doing a great job of holding off JR, but JR was hassling him all through this first lap so far, but he's pulled out a little bit of a gap here coming through the swimming pool chicane. You can see Bowie with a lot better traction coming out of there, and he's pulled out a little bit as they come through Raskas to complete lap 1. Ollie Mars still trying to hold off Honey Badger here. Not much at all between these guys here. You can see Honey Badger's going to be going for the exit coming out of Anthony Noakes, and he gets a beautiful run as well, and he's going to look to the left hand side. He's going to duck left and right and see if he can get past Ollie coming down the pit straight, but it looks like he's a little bit too far back to make a move for the time being. D-Crocs here is just watching this unfold and probably waiting for these guys to trip over each other, but I don't think they will. These two, Honey Badger and Ollie, some of the cleanest, fastest sim racers on the PlayStation 4 platform. I'm absolutely certain they will not be crashing or tripping over each other anytime soon, especially in these Clios. They're some of the best drivers in these Clios that I've ever seen. Grandad Steve doing a good job here, keeping motor with the bump in the middle of the track, because you can see there it really throws you off if you hit that bump square on. But for the time being, Motor Morgan with a lock-up. Grandad Steve with a massive lock-up there coming into Slow's hairpin, and Motor Morgan's going to have to be on the ball here, trying to avoid running into him. But it looks like we've got ALTEL here coming under pressure now from Smithy. The battle for P9 still heating up, and also the only G's picked off a few guys in his quest to move through the field. Currently sat P12. We know that overtaking isn't the easiest around Monaco, so it's going to be a very, very difficult race for the Only G. But I'm sure he's up to the challenge. We're looking forward to seeing him pick his way through the pack. He's currently on the back of H2 Malik coming into the chicane. Has to brake earlier than he normally would to avoid hitting him in the back, and you can see there he gets a beautiful run coming out of the chicane. Can he pull to the left hand side and go for a move here coming into the back? It looks like we've got somebody moving well out of the way there. That's Smithy with a slowdown on Malik, and it looks like he's got the move there coming through Anthony Nogues. In the meantime, though, it looks like JR's managed to get around Bowie for the lead. We missed that one on the stream, but he's obviously got past him there some point on lap 2. But Bowie's still sticking to the back of him like glue as they come up towards Casino Square. Barely anything separating these two guys. And Ollie is still holding off Honey Badger, but it really does look like Honey Badger's pushing him as hard as he can. We've got a problem on the stream, so we might have to restart it. Hold up. Looks like we've got a problem. Yeah. I think the audio is still working, but the visuals go. Alright, 1 second.